What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Technically Speaking Live. It is Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast. And I'd like to tell you that I've totally planned for this show, but about 15 minutes ago, I was sweating. That sounds weird. Now that I play that back in my head, that sounds odd. Very, very odd. I was moving furniture. 15 minutes ago, I don't even know if it was 15 minutes ago, to be completely honest. Approximately 15 minutes ago, I was not preparing for a show. No. I didn't even have, I have nothing prepared. Flat out. Thank God for executive producer being here. And I'll bring him in a second. But 15 minutes ago, I was moving a couch to move a rug because my wife wanted a new rug in the house. Now, we then subsequently covered it back up with an ottoman and a couch. So the little bit that does show looks phenomenal. Just looks phenomenal. But I'm going to go ahead and bring in Stats. So hopefully he won't freeze this week. Stats, what's up?
So I would like to correct the record. Approximately 16 minutes ago, we were sweating together.
That's true. Pause. 15, 16, whatever the stupid number he just said, we were sweating together.
And yes, while I do agree, your wife has excellent taste and picks out great rugs.
Sir. Pause.
What I do question is the fact that she picked a white rug in a house with three children and a dog that sheds
hang on.
900 hours a day.
He does do that. So that is not an incorrect statement. Not an incorrect statement. It's not all white. We didn't go like fully white. We didn't go
80s cocaine mansion white.
Did not go 80s cocaine mansion white. And we just got demonetized because we said the word cocaine.
Yeah, well.
Well, what can you do?
We were going to earn
$0 today.
$4.20 today. That's all we were going to earn.
Sir. Bradley knows what's up. I see text 702 Mike is in the house. Well, he's probably gone by now, but he was in the house.
You know.
Bradley is here, and yeah. I would like to, like I told you, I'd like to tell you that we really got ready for the show, but I told Stats specifically tonight because I had a hellacious day at work. Absolutely hellacious. I have absolutely no idea what we're going to talk about on the show. He has a full list of things, so you're going to get my genuine reaction to a handful of things that Stats is going to bring forward. What's up, Scoop? What's up, Joker Tech? Nothing like a good workout before a live stream. Amen to that.
Neither one of us would know, but thank you.
Not what we had planned. Not what we had planned. I would say that moving a couch and moving a rug
shouldn't have been a workout, but we
should
made
not
it
have been a workout, but we made it a workout. And that is because we are, well, I am, Stats is not, I am what we refer to in the industry as obese.
I was going to say large and in charge, but that's also not true because you're not in charge. Your wife is.
That is also a correct statement. I am large, semi in charge. Every once in a while,
You are in charge in this room.
Definitely.
When your executive producer is not here.
Exactly. It's when executive producer Stats is not in the building. That is when I am in charge. But I would say that we want to talk about the Pixel 6a.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to get some thoughts from the people in the comments on that. I want to give my thoughts as well on the 6a. And I have not watching in 144p on YouTube Premium. All of the quality. So I'm actually going to add that as a topic because I have noticed some things on YouTube recently, but I do want to address Text 702 directly. That is the perfect resolution to watch us in. 100%.
Because that's the easiest way to hide everything that is flawed about us. So thank you.
True story.
Thank you for taking the hit on your on the data resolution.
On the data.
We'll forward you something.
You're saving data. That's what you're doing. You're saving data. Also, the blob that is currently talking to you in the blocky 144p, that's me. And the size of the blocks is 100% accurate. 100% accurate. So let's talk about well, first of all, let me ask. You have the topics.
I do.
What are we talking about?
So we've got, I'm going to save one because there's a joke that leads into it.
Oh, Lord.
We do have a topic about the 6A.
Yeah.
Which Scott has already thrown in the trash because he's rocking the 7A.
Nope.
We have...
Still rocking this guy right here.
We have Google attempting to reinvent Nearby Share and make it a true AirDrop competitor.
Okay. I'd like the thoughts of that.
We have, let's see, we have a decentralized alternative to Twitter, just in case our meme overlord Elon decides to actually purchase it.
I can't even get, oh my God, that is such a thing. Like, God, come on.
We do have a topic about the Pixel Watch. And then I actually, to Tech 702's comment, I want to talk about some resolution issues and problems I've been having on my phone and on the computer and see if anybody has any suggestions.
Okay.
Or if I'm just stupid in doing things incorrectly. Either one of which is a possibility.
I was going to say either and both are 100% probably the thing. So let's talk about the Pixel Watch first, because I want to talk about Pixel Watch and 6A because we teased that last week. We didn't even get to it. And that is what we refer to in the industry as continuity of episodes. Yeah. So if you did not watch last week's episode, I did not talk about the 6A. I teased on Twitter that I was going to, and then I just blatantly just blew through it and didn't talk about it at all.
So I just put the link to the article that we're going to be talking about here in the chat, so Scott can pull that down because he does not have the show notes.
Sure don't. How about the story about the Pixel 6 not selling well? I saw that same thing too. Earlier, into quarter four, so when we got into January and February, where we were getting quarter four results, we talked about how well the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro were selling. It was the best-selling Pixel that they had ever had to date. And I went and opened my big, stupid mouth again, and I said that I think it's going to be the best-selling Pixel of all time. Now, I'm going to stand by that. I believe that it will be the best-selling Pixel of all time. But to Joker Tech's comment, I read a story specifically about the Pixel 6 not selling well. It sells well on Verizon, which I had heard part of it was because the fact that they were giving better incentives from... Really? We're in the middle of a show.
I leaned away from the microphone.
Sweetie Cakes. Hi, Queen. Welcome to the show, Sweetie Cakes. I have a feeling I know who this is. Sweetie Cakes.
Wonder if that's...
There's somebody specifically that I talked to within...
new alter ego?
No, I talked in the last month. They said... I tune into your live streams to specifically screw with you.
Great. Love it.
Sweetie Cakes, I love you. Hi, Queen. Bring it. All the time. Yeah, it's apparently not moving units when it comes to the carriers. Evidently, it is not selling well outside of Verizon, which I think is very interesting. And they actually, there's a survey from Android Authority. Google reportedly is giving salespeople lucrative incentives to sell the Pixel 6 line, but it's still not doing well. The company has resorted to offering lucrative kickbacks to sell the flagship. Numerous bugs and performance issues could potentially be to blame.
All right. We've talked about all this in the past. The performance issues, hit and miss. The bugs, hit and miss, depending on the device you get, depending on the downloads you get, depending on the updates you get. And as we've covered numerous times over the last couple of years, everybody loves to hate on the Pixels.
It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable how unfair it is.
Because they're not the other major player whose name we shall not mention today because we've spent too much time talking about them.
Apple and Samsung. I'll just say it. Apple and Samsung. It is what it is. They're the two biggest players in the space. We have to give their credit, give the due to Apple and Samsung. They are the biggest ones in the industry. Evidently, according to Wave 7, which is a research firm that conducted a survey of salespeople at U.S. carriers.
That too.
Also that, it looks like Google's flagship don't have many buyers. And to Tech 702, Mike, to your point, Verizon is the only carrier that I promoted that I've seen. Yeah. If you go to Best Buy, Verizon is the only ones that I think, that's absolutely true. The only place that I have seen it really advertised is in Verizon's as well as Best Buy's. I have been into an Apple, excuse me, definitely not in an Apple store. I can tell you definitively, I've been in an Apple store. They are not there.
Right. That would be shocking if they were.
Exactly. I've been in an AT&T store recently, as well as a T-Mobile store recently, and neither of them are really talking about the Pixel 6 or the Pixel 6 Pro. And it's unfortunate because it gets a bad rep, an unfair bad rep, in my personal opinion. Does it have opportunities? There is no question it has opportunities. Each phone that's out there, each major phone has areas of opportunity. Samsung still has areas of opportunity when it comes to the stupid shutter lag that it almost is plagued in every phone. For whatever reason, they just cannot seem to get that thing right. Has it gotten better? Absolutely. Is it still good? Absolutely not. It's just not. The shutter lag is real. I have tested it myself on the new Galaxy line in a Best Buy to say, can you give me, like, if I move my phone really, really quick, I can only get out like a photo that I know for sure is going to grab 100% of the time out of a Pixel and an iPhone. That's it. That's it. I just made a video about the hate on the Pixel 6. Just have to upload it. Let's go, Bradley. I watched your video the other day, my friend. That was really, really good. My manager always tells people that the Pixel is known for incredible cameras but has crappy hardware. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I was going to say
ridiculous.
And I think that leads into what we've been complaining about for the last couple of years is a lot of these opinions are not based in fact. And that's okay, because that's what opinions are. Everybody's entitled to one, just like everything else. But when it comes to people who write articles, people who make content, especially people who are being paid to make content, not us yahoos who do it for fun or for free, I think I can speak for you. We both feel there should be a little bit of objectivity to it. There should be a little bit of trying to give the viewer of that content or the consumer the ability to make the best decision for them and their family and their budget and whatever other factors they bring to the table. And I mean, how many hours, if not minutes, was it after they announced the 6 and the 6 Pro, or dropped the 6 and the 6 Pro, before you saw, without even really looking for it, the first negative article or negative tweet?
Oh, they were out way
video?
They were absolutely out way before the videos even came out.
So
they were talking about, like, one of the first ones that I remember talked about how if before the 6 and the 6 Pro came out, if the phone was a glass, like, not matte black, matte finished back. That is really hard to say.
Yeah,
when you're tired and stupid awful. Like me. Like, when you try to say that, that's ridiculous. But if you don't have a matte finish on the back, it's ridiculous. I remember hearing that the phone wasn't even out. It wasn't even in the hands of consumers. And we were already hearing things like, if it doesn't have a flat matte finish, it will flop. Come on.
And
come on.
That is such a subjective, personal dislike of the way a phone looks or feels or represents itself in your hand, that's useless. That is a personal opinion that has no usability in the overall market, or, in my opinion, the overall discussion of whether or not something makes a good device. And the other one that just blew my mind is people were crapping on the fact that Google had finally developed their own in-house tensor chip. Mm-hmm. Something that, again, other manufacturers had already done in the past, but people chose to poo-poo all over Google for finally doing it, and without knowing the specs, without knowing the capabilities, without even holding the device and see how it operated in their hand. Well, it can't possibly be good because it's a first-gen chip. Where was your commentary on that with the other big manufacturers?
And
Why do their first-gen chips and products get a pass and Google doesn't?
And that brings in Tech 702's comment. Opinions are fine. The problem is people are saying patently false statements about the Pixel, either from ignorance or tribal fanboyism. And there you go. That is it right there. I have never shied away from the fact that I am a
Tribal fanboy
Pixel fanatic. There is no question at all. I mean, over there on my wall, I have a breakdown of a Pixel 5, for Christ's sakes. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Is it in frame?
It isn't in a frame. It is in a frame.
Okay, good.
It is actually in a frame. So the idea is, yes, I truly enjoy all things Pixel. I believe the device is great for nearly everyone. But I also can say definitively, you all right over there?
Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. I know definitively for sure that an Apple iPhone is a fantastic device. And I can say that. I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt that the iPhone 13 Pro, Pro Max, really iPhones in general, period, are phenomenal devices. I can say the same thing about Samsung. Samsung makes some really beautiful devices. They're great. They're not my cup of tea. What I really want people to understand is there are other devices that are out there that can meet your needs, especially in Android. It's not, is that a Samsung? Is that a Samsung? No, it's not a Samsung, damn it. It ain't no damn Samsung. I have a Pixel. There's a difference. You have to go outside the box a little bit, and this does tend to make its way into, again, Mike's point, it's even pervasive into retail carrier stores. And back to the point that Michael was making a little bit earlier, that his manager specifically said the Pixel is known for incredible cameras but crappy hardware. That's just not true. It's not crappy hardware. If you were to do a QA check on the number of devices that go out there, we're talking about a very small percentage of devices that are quote unquote crap. Very small percentage. We're not talking about that.
Well, and I think the other thing that isn't talked about enough is if you look hard enough, you will find a video or an article or a comment about an iPhone or maybe a couple of iPhones not working appropriately. But because they are the market leader, they ship so many more units than anybody else, their rate of incidents goes down.
Yeah.
Google does not ship as many units. Google does not send as many of those. So their errors per unit rate goes up, but people blow it so out of proportion.
Now, I agree with that. I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth on this a little bit. I agree with that.
It wouldn't be a Wednesday show if you didn't do
Absolute fact. What I will say is there are horror incidents in the Apple stores where the customer care is just bananas bad. Mm-hmm. That is very rare. The customer care at Google should be better. Flat out, bar none. I'll say it this way. Now, have I ever personally had an issue? No, I have never personally had an issue. Every time I've contacted customer care, they have taken care of me. I've never had any horror stories as it relates to Google support. But I am not stupid. And I can read Reddit and a whole litany of tweets and a whole litany of stories about how bad Google customer care is. I am not saying holistically that the customer care is bad. That's not what I'm saying at all. I think there are areas of opportunity specifically in how Google does their customer care where they could be better. They could be, dare I say, a little more Apple-like. But, and here's the big but. Pause, sir. Apple has an advantage because they have retail stores.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Apple can have somebody come into a retail store, flop out a phone, pause. What a terrible choice of words.
A lot of pausing.
Why would I say that word? Why would I choose that word? You can have somebody come into an Apple retail store and they can take care of you right on the spot to make sure that you have an absolutely incredible experience. Google doesn't have that. Google has to rely on logistics, which I don't know if you know this. In the past 36 months, there's been a thing that's happening.
Been a problem.
And logistics has tended to be a problem. So Google's at a disadvantage there where they don't have the retail stores like Apple does. I mean, Samsung doesn't either. And we hear horrific stories about how bad Samsung's customer care absolutely is. I will take Google's customer care over Samsung customer care hands down.
Absolutely.
Any day of the week.
100%.
But Apple really does it well. But again, they have retail stores where they can have that unique experience and make it really, really seamless. Really seamless.
Yeah, and I think I know we've harped on it a lot to kind of wrap this up a little bit. I know we've mentioned it because we are passionate. We are pixel people.
Fanboys. Just call it fanboys.
You know,
it is what we are.
But I think, again, one of the things that people enjoy talking about is the fit and finish and the value you get. It's an iPhone. It just works. It, every other tagline that you can ever imagine or, have heard about Apple. Well, if you took a real good, honest look at it from a Google ecosystem user like you or I, we can say the exact same thing about every single Pixel device that has ever been made because both of us have used every single Pixel device that has ever been made.
100%.
And we have been in the Google Ecoverse for over a decade now, each of us.
A decade? Jesus, has it really been that long?
Well,
I don't know if it's been that long.
2022, bro.
I don't think it's been that long.
Anyway, so at some point, you're going to have fans on both sides of the aisle. An objective, if
no,
there
the Nexus 4 came out in 2010. Oh, Jesus Christ.
When did the first Pixel come out?
I think 2016.
Okay. So,
I'm pretty sure. Let me
if
check
there
that.
is such a thing as an objective observer anymore in any type of media, but especially tech media, especially flagship phone tech media, all other things being equal, I don't think Google gets enough credit for what they do with the hardware, with the software, for the price.
Came out
right now,
October 4th.
Right now,
2016.
the two flagship phones from Apple, the iPhone 13 Pro, $999. The iPhone Standard 13, $699. The two flagship phones from Google, Pixel 6 Pro, $899.
Yep.
Pixel 6, not Pro, $599.
Yep.
So in the ecosystem that you want, with the device that you want, brand new, flagship, you are saving money with Google. And to a lot of people, in today's day and age, with what everything else that's going on around the world, that $100 could be the difference between a brand new phone or no phone.
I also think that Google hasn't really done themselves any type of service as it relates to releasing the device in only certain geographic areas. Now, makes total sense why they've made the choice of where they're going. Like, I believe the Pixel 5A or 5A 5G or just the 5A, I can't remember. One of them only released in the United States and Japan. Right. So they didn't do themselves any favors, whereas Apple and Samsung have the ability to release worldwide and not think about it.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a bit of a conundrum that they're getting themselves into when they do that. Now, they have reasons why they choose to do that. So Michael brings up a really good point here. Is honestly, I hope that some of the profits from Pixel sales go into retail stores. Google doesn't have to support themselves that way, but physical locations would be so beneficial. 100% agree. Or what they could do is they could I'm going to use almost said shitty. I just did. So I gave very, very bad. Like, if you think about ghost kitchens, right? So a ghost kitchen is effectively another restaurant using another restaurant's kitchen to make their food. So it's their marketing, their branding. They get the money, but they do a kickback to the restaurant that actually cooks the food. Ghost kitchen. That's a really horrible
analogy.
It's a horrible analogy and a horrible definition of what I just described. But what if they did something like in every Best Buy, every mall, there was some sort of kiosk or store specifically around the Pixel, and they had a little bit of customer support in each of the respective spaces. Like, they could get creative with how they create quote unquote retail stores. Like, if they partnered up with Best Buy and actually had a specific Google Pixel retail section in the Best Buy where there was actual Google employees in there, you could have your Pixel serviced and it would be just fine. And it would be like attending like an Apple retail store. They can figure this out. Like, I'm an idiot with just a microphone. And I just gave you an example that I think would work. Best Buy is going to do it because they're going to want that money.
Right.
And Google's going to want to do it because then they get dedicated retail space.
That's actually a really interesting idea, because while I agree with Michael, Google could go that route. I would honestly like to see Google take every single dollar that they make off the Pixel devices and make more Pixel devices. I honestly don't care about them having a standalone retail store or a Google Genius Bar, whatever you want to call it, for them to fix my device or whatever, because I have my device fixer sitting 4 feet away from me on the other side of the desk. We have enough phones hanging out here that we can swap SIMs and anything else we need to do to get our jobs done, to go about our days. So I'm less concerned from a Google standpoint about having a physical store I can go in and just marvel at everything that they have, and just getting more products out there, more innovations, more new software, new hardware, stuff like that to keep me in the ecosystem, to keep me engaged, to keep me productive and doing things that I need to do. So, I mean, yeah, you could go any of the three ways: a standalone brick and mortar, you could go a partnership with Best Buy or somebody else. You could rent space when Spirit Halloween isn't using all these.
There you go. Go full Spirit Halloween. That's what you do. Full Spirit Halloween every month. Just rotate a Google store.
Yeah, traveling.
I will be your ops manager. I will figure this out. I got this.
Logistics.
I can do this.
We can handle this.
We can handle the logistics. I'm just some idiot with a microphone. I got this.
But keep doing what they're doing, but keep innovating as well.
Here you go, Joker Tech. Who can get a foothold when T-Mobile is giving away iPhone 13s for free? The ads are blasting everywhere. Everywhere. And they are. I've noticed it when I'm watching with the little TV that I do watch. I definitely notice they're like, get an iPhone 13 for free by coming to T-Mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have to be on T-Mobile. I mean,
702. None of this is happening. They don't care enough. Man, Debbie Downer, you were right there with me, bro, earlier. Gee whiz.
Yeah, we were going to
right there. I was changing the world, man.
We were going to give you the commenter of the show award.
You lost that award, sir. Give me back that sticker.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Sorry.
I'd rather use a pager than T-Mobile. That's aggressive. That's aggressive. If I had to choose between AT&T carrying the 6 or the 5A, I'd choose the 5A. That device should be the headliner for carrier stores. Give it away for free. Beat out the A13s. No question. The 5A and the 5A 5G, just phenomenal devices.
Mm-hmm.
Just phenomenal.
Yep.
They just tremendous.
Mine's still doing brilliant. I haven't had an issue on this 5A 5G I don't think I've had an issue since I got it. I mean, I never had the overheating issue. We ran.
You never did. We actually ran that thing. You did with like 45 minutes of 4K 60 frames per second right there in studio. We did that test and nothing. Yeah. Absolutely zero overheat. Zero overheat. There's one person who shall remain nameless that constantly talked about the overheating issue of the 5A. Constantly. That shall remain nameless because I love him very much. Speaking of the A line, the Google Pixel 6a specs, according to 9 to 5 Google, Tensor chip, 6 gigs of RAM, 12 megapixel camera, and everything else we need and need to know. The chip is the Google Tensor chip under the hood. The biggest change from the 6A versus the prior is the chipset. Unlike the 3A and the 4A, which use mid-range Snapdragon chips, the 6A is set to run the top-of-the-line Tensor chipset, specifically the same chipset that powers the 6 and the 6 Pro. So that should be very, very interesting. There was a leaked benchmark.
Fast.
The leaked what? What?
I said it should be blazing fast.
Yeah, looks like I didn't. Sorry, I just totally.
You were going on leaked benchmarks.
Leaked benchmarks from March 2022. Based on that benchmark, the 6A scored slightly higher than the flagship models, hinting that Google may have possibly tweaked the chip since last October.
Love it.
Google is aggressively marketing through sponsoring the NBA playoffs. I'm really glad that you mentioned that. I am super glad that you mentioned that, actually, because right over there in that box.
You want me to pick it up?
Yeah, pick it up. In this box that you were about to see, I got this sent to me in the mail just about a week ago. In this box is a Team Pixel NBA jersey. And it is freaking dope. Now,
the big question, hang on, that everybody wants to know.
Does it fit?
Is it big man friendly?
It is big man friendly. It's big man. It is big man certified. It is big man certified. It is a Team Pixel jersey, and it is freaking sweet.
Yeah, I can't open it.
Michael says, we all know that you're reading these specs from your 6A on your desk. Don't have it.
Well, because you don't have it, I have another article here about the 6A, and this is also from 9 to 5 Google. Multiple models of the Google Pixel 6A have passed through the FCC, pointing potentially to a wider international release, which, if you rewind about 6 minutes into this rant, that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
They have to invest more in their manufacturing and logistics capabilities to reach a wider audience.
According to this, the recent stop by the FCC points to the 6A having at least four, series variants in the United States, with at least one model supporting Wave 5G, which means that's the Verizon model. Quite honestly, that's the Wave Verizon model. With sub-6 5G networks through C-band, that is what the rumor is. Another report back in March pinned down at least 3 color variants: the 6A in black, the 6A in white, and the 6A in green.
Come on, we need that orange model.
God
really do.
Bless America. Do the peach model. I have preached it from the top of the hills. Just want the color, man. Just give me the color. Just a peach color.
Maybe on the 7.
Good God. Good God. I think they compared the 6A benchmark to the old 6 series. We posted updated benchmark beating the 6A. Interesting.
Well,
interesting.
If you have a brand new direct from the factory 6 or 6 Pro, yeah, it should. If you got, it's the flagship. It's supposed to beat the A model. But I think, again, we keep coming back to this point every other show at this point. Google is attempting, and in our estimation, winning the ability to make a phone for every consumer that wants one in their ecosystem. You have the Pro model. You have the not Pro model. You have the A line. You have last year's A line. You have other still phone devices out there that you can buy on the secondary market, and they all still work in the ecosystem. They're still going to get the operating system upgrades. They may just not get the security updates, but as long as you are careful with your device, as long as you aren't going into the deepest, darkest corners of the weird side of the web.
Depths of hell.
Hey,
Shelly, welcome to the show. Hey-o.
You can keep a device rocking and moving and safe and secure for as long as you are willing to be careful with it. So,
Baba? I'm going to call it Baba.
Wow.
Google sucks at marketing. Surveys have shown it's the most liked feature of the Pixels are the call features. I know. They barely promote that. Holy crap. The call features are incredible. They don't talk about it. You're right. I agree. I don't think they're not great at marketing, but I guess sucks is the clearest way to say it. But you're right.
They're
the
not
call
the
features
leader in marketing. How about that?
They are definitely not that. The call features are simply incredible. I just created a word. They're so good. The AI is unmatched. Tech 702, the AI is unmatched. And then he come back and said they're trying to sell on True Tone during the NBA. Pretty obvious angle. Ben and I were joking that the iPhone is racist.
Yeah,
now.
that was a great line there. So you're working your way back into commenter of
Comment
the
to
night.
I had a chance to meet Mike in Vegas. He's a great dude.
Yeah,
Just a legitimate great. He's huge, massive guy, like very tall, not fat, like just massively tall. He's at least 6'6".
Nice,
huge guy, massive.
We know you like your men big.
It's true, and he's a redhead.
Oh wow,
There you go.
a giant ginger.
If they keep selling the 6 series and drop the price at the release of the 7 series, that would just about cover every price range from $400 to $1,000 with all the flagship SoCs. 100% agree. And that gets actually to a great point. What do we think the 6A is going to cost?
Well, I mean, the two top of the lines are running $899 and $599 right now, right? That's what I just said a couple minutes
ago. That's what you said. If we rewind about 22 minutes, that's probably what it is.
Yeah. So I would say the 6A, which is a mid-level flagship. Let's go ahead and invent that marketing term.
What did you say? Mid-level flagship?
Mid-level flagship.
That's good enough. It works.
I mean, you got to think it's at least $499, if not $449.
Now, for previous launches of the A series, the 3A, $399.
Okay.
4A, $349.
Okay.
4A, $499. 5A, $449.
So I could see $499, $449 to $499. I love that because it. Again, you're trying to create that flagship experience with whatever. I just lost the word.
That's okay.
With whatever,
we don't have words.
Compromises they're making for the A line, whether it's hardware or software, or speed or performance. You're trying to create that flagship experience at a price point to get more people into your ecosystem. So I say any price that starts with a 4, I'm happy with on the 6A, whether it's $409, $449, or $499.
A lot of folks in the comments are saying somewhere between. There's a couple that say $399, a couple that say $449, and a couple that say $499. I believe it's going to fall somewhere in between $449 and $499. If it comes in at $399, which, by the way, if it comes in at $399, that's 3 generations of the A device. They would match the price of the 3A when it first released. $399. If they somehow come in at $399, that would be baller. How much is the iPhone SE?
Checking.
iPhone SE is $449, 64 gigs. LOL, 64 gigs. 64 gigs? What?
Who does 64 gigs these days?
What? That's right. They go 64, like 256 or something like that. It's ridiculous. Who are you doing? Is Google really fighting for their ecosystem, though? I would argue that that's not that important to Google. Google has a sneaky good ecosystem, agnostic of the hardware that you use.
And I think that's important because you can get most Google applications, if not all Google applications, to work on almost any phone. Mm-hmm. But you are going to get the best possible experience with those applications on a Pixel device. That is how they are designed.
Kinda agree.
Okay.
I kinda agree.
Which application does not run better on a Pixel?
The problem that I have is there's a lot of Google apps that work really good on an iPhone.
Right.
And they get updated before the Androids or the Pixels do specifically. And that rubs me the wrong way. So it's not necessarily better.
Are they specifically apps owned by Google?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so they are hardware agnostic is the perfect way to put it. That's the beauty of it. Google has an incredible ecosystem through the apps that they've built. No Google Lens on iOS, Pixelpia, that's a really good point. Apple has their own Google Lens type thing. They don't call it that, but they have their own thing. It's not as good. But yeah, it's something that Apple does. I don't know what they call it, but Google Lens is absolutely phenomenal. Like I showed my son the other day, hey buddy, let me go out and take a picture. Like we had like a stupid weed growing in the yard, right? Because I mowed for the first time on Easter. So for the first time this year, I had a chance to mow, and it was on Easter, and we had like this weird purple flower growing in the front yard, and I went and took a picture of it, and I needed to know what it was. So I took a picture, opened up the phone, and then opened up Google Lens and said what it was. And I don't remember what it was. Doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
But the point was my son was like, how did you know what that was? And I said, come on.
I didn't.
I didn't
Google
know. Google does. Let me show you. And so I took a picture of a random thing, and I opened up Google Lens, and I said, basically, what is this? And it was like, this is this. And he goes, can you do that with anything? I go, well, let's give it a shot. I'm pretty sure that it will. So I took a picture of a Matchbox car, and it showed, it like pulled up on eBay and pulled up sites where you could buy that car.
Yeah.
Like that particular car. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I've used that several times recently, researching things for my father. He is he's a collector of weird and strange items that can't be found anywhere else, and if you don't know the exact search terms to plug into Google or your favorite search engine, it's going to be really hard to figure it out. So he takes pictures of them on his iPhone. He sends the pictures to me. I save them to my camera roll. I pull up Google Lens and say, what is this? And easily 9 times out of 10, if not 99 times out of 100, I'm able to figure it out in minutes. And text him back and say, hey, it's this, and here's a link to read more about it.
Yep.
And I mean, that also ties into, again, my opinion, the software and the ecosystem and the data that Google has behind everything that they build. And that brings us back to one of our favorite topics on this show, which is the assistant.
Yeah, Days One brings up a good point. You don't even need to take a picture. I took the picture just because I am who I am.
Right.
But the point remains. Days One brings up a great point. The idea is you don't even need to take the picture to invoke Google Lens. Use the camera, long press on the item. It'll do all of that without taking the picture.
Right.
You can do all of that stuff instantaneously.
And the assistant works the same way. You know, and I think that is one of the few things about Google that nobody will question, is that their AI, their assistant, is better than any other assistant out
it's
there.
not even close. It's not close. And like people talk about how good Siri has gotten, and don't get me wrong, Siri has gotten better. She ain't no Google.
But
she ain't no Google. Come on.
If something is the industry leader, you don't have to argue that it's gotten better.
That is, you know what? That could be the most profound thing you've said in a long time. A long time. 42 minutes into this show, you said something that was really profound. I don't remember what it was, but it was pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good. Like, if you want to talk about being an industry leader, you don't talk about it getting better. Like,
you don't have to talk about needing to get better.
There you go. Something verbatim, something like that. It works.
We'll rewind the show and
it'll be fine.
We'll snip that out and I'll add it to my Twitter profile or something.
Right. Now I want to go back up here. Ryan brings up a good point. I have an iPhone 13 Pro and a Pixel 6 Pro, and I can tell you there's a lot of apps that work better on the iPhone. Now that is a fact that I can actually tell you. I think Google Photos is actually better on the iPhone, except stupid way that Apple does this, or stupid way that the app is set. Like when we take a picture on our Pixel, it automatically goes to the Google Photos. Yeah. Like I don't have to think about it. On iOS, you actually have to keep the app open, like up.
For it to sync?
Drives me insane.
Yeah.
Drives me insane. That's a terrible user experience. Awful. Siri is closer to Bixby than the assistant at this point. I prefer the assistant on the Pixel over the Google Assistant on the iPhone. It's just smoother in my opinion. They're pixelated. You absolutely right on that point. I use the Google Assistant. I mean, couldn't even tell you the number of times per day. I'll bet you I use it half a dozen times before 8 o'clock in the morning most days.
That's mostly because he suffers from CRS.
I don't know what that is.
Can't remember shit.
That's what it is. Can't remember shit. That's true. Can't.
Or so I had two jokes lined up there. Either the CRS joke, or he keeps yelling at the assistant every morning to give him another 5 minutes in bed, give him another 5 minutes in bed. So
No, usually it's like, hey, what's the weather supposed to be today? What's the weather for this weekend? So it actually gives me something to look forward to in the little joy of life that I have. I'm just kidding. That was awful. It was awful.
we're playing golf this weekend, and it's going to be glorious.
I had a god-awful range session yesterday.
You did.
Awful.
But that just means you're going to destroy all of us on the course on Saturday.
The problem with my bad range session, and Stats can attest to this, it wasn't like banana balls everywhere. It was not that. They were actually fairly straight. And distance-wise, they were pretty close. Where they
in
was
a margin of error.
Yeah, where they were supposed to be. I'm a feel golfer, and it didn't feel right. Like, it didn't feel good. Would I have still scored marginally well? Probably. I would have gotten through the round if it was a round. I just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
So,
and that's okay. We had a good time, nonetheless.
Now, Michael brings up a good point. You don't have a routine to answer all those questions. I do, but this goes back to the CRS that I have.
He forgets to invoke the routine because he doesn't remember the keyword he set up for it.
I have a routine that when my alarm goes off, I either have the option of snooze or stop. When stop happens, it invokes the assistant to pull up what I have for my day. So, like, I know that. Like, I automatically have it there. But then the minute that I put my phone down, right out the window. Couldn't remember anything. I just read it right out the window.
Yep. Gone.
That's exactly how it goes. Every single time. Every time.
Yep.
Ryan says, I use dictation to send long text and I slur a lot and it's able to pick up what I'm saying and add punctuation and not make me sound like an idiot. It is the hands down best voice transcription device I've ever used.
Yeah.
I've ever used. When I made videos, which feels like a while ago at this point, when I made videos and I was working on my scripts, I would actually use Google's voice recorder, then take the transcription text that it does automatically and drop that into a Google Doc and then edit as needed. Yeah. So first of all, this is a bit of a rant. So Stat, you'll get some words in here in a minute at this point. I'm using a MacBook Pro to run for this show, right? And I have a Microsoft 360 account with Word and Outlook and Excel and all that shit, right? I have all of it. I don't use any of it. I still go to docs.google.com and I pull up a Google Doc and I work everything in a Google Doc. Now, what I won't do, and this goes back to my data analysis days, I will not use Google Sheets. Straight up refuse. I will use Excel. That's the only Microsoft Office product that I use.
You cut your teeth on Excel, and some people may have ever, even at some point, referred to you as an Excel wizard.
I was very good.
So, very
good.
That's a comfortable space for you.
Dumbledore-ish. Dumbledore-ish.
Okay.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Right.
Like Excel of a cadavra. Have you seen the TikToks where somebody, so stupid, somebody will make like a magic wand and they'll be like, "Hoo-doo-dee!" Like,
yeah,
you've seen them?
Of course
you've seen them. Like, it's so stupid and I laugh every time. Every stupid time. Also, have you seen the TikTok of the girl that goes, she was trying to get her outfit of the day and she like bumps into the bed and she goes, ah, and everybody makes a song based off of her. Holy Jesus, I'm losing my mind watching these TikToks. Losing my mind.
Have you seen the one of the woman who's standing in her bathroom trying to show off her new shoes? And she loses her balance. The shoe hits the edge of the counter, and she just does a forward somersault and knocks over the camera.
No, but you're gonna have to send me that one. My God,
brilliant.
So I know we're talking about pixel stuff, but the TikToks get me. The TikToks, that's where you know I'm aged at this point, right? The TikToks get me. Like, oh my goodness, the kids with the whiz bangs and the TikToks. Like, I don't have that much creativity. I just don't.
That's false.
I don't have that much creativity.
He does. He chooses to channel it into other things like his job, his mortgage, his kids, and his wife.
I don't have that, like, not TikTok level creativity. These people that have like unbelievable. They just ooze talent. I have no idea how they do some of these things. Like the one that several years ago, like when TikTok first came out, she was talking about like, I'm going to make a quick TikTok. It was when TikTok finally went to like a 3 or 4 minute limit at one point. She goes, but she still was working under the 60-second limit. She showed how she made a 60-second or a 15-second TikTok within a minute. All of the transitions and shit.
Yeah, all in camera.
In camera at the time.
I remember watching that video.
Unbelievable TikTok. One of the greatest that I've ever seen of all time. And then she did it all and then showed with the 15-second TikTok. So she filmed all of it, all the different camera angles and all the woo things that she did. It was unbelievable. I don't have that level of creativity. Mortgage doesn't require creativity, I don't think. It does. It requires creativity to where you don't want to wake up every day and scream and then you actually still go to work.
Or slaughter your co-workers in a cold, vicious rage. One of those.
Yeah.
So, coming up with new and inventive ways every single day to get your job done. That's
the way.
creative.
The way to continue to make sure that you don't pull every ounce of hair out of your body to continue to press on for work. That's the creativity that I'm talking about.
Little known fact, though, Scott is completely hairless from the neck down.
Hey now.
All right. We have 9 minutes left.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Last week you teased it.
I did.
About 40 minutes ago you teased it again.
No idea what we're talking about.
We still haven't talked about the Pixel Watch.
Are you serious? We still haven't talked about the watch? Jesus Christ. We've been talking about the Pixel 6 this whole time?
So
Good God.
There is an article about the watch in the show notes.
Okay. I didn't open the show notes. I'm working my own thing.
It's from 9 to 5 Google.
9 to 5 Google. That's what it is.
Here's the first near final look at the Pixel Watch and its very curved design.
I see the photo that you are referring to. The latest Pixel Watch render looks awfully familiar. It is round, not square. It is very round, very curvy.
Love it.
With a knob. What do you call those on the side? A knob.
You asked me too quick.
A physical crown. A crown.
Thank you. Yes.
A crown. So Evan Blass over at 91 Mobiles lined up the past leaks and rumors showing a device with a familiar circular design, physical crown, and Fitbit integration.
Ooh,
there we go.
Lordy.
That's what we're talking about.
Bringing it all into one single device so you can track all of
the things.
1,200 steps today? What are you at?
Shut up.
What are you at?
1,483, baby.
1,483 steps.
Before we moved the couch, I was at like 500. I hadn't moved at all today. I've been basically sitting in this chair doing meeting after meeting after meeting. Woo! They've updated the U.S. Google Store to show a watch menu. No longer Fitbit.
Well,
that is interesting.
We all predicted this when Google purchased Fitbit outright, that they were going to use the technology, use all the past practices, use all the data that they had collected over a decade of being out there and, having their devices on people's wrists, and use it. What we hoped at the time, what we predicted several years ago, use it to create the first truly Pixel watch. Mm-hmm. And based on these renders, based on these leaks, based on these design specs, our dream may finally be coming true.
So Days specifically asked, I've been waiting for the Pixel watch since first mentioned. Anything that you are looking forward to in this? Yes, me personally. I am looking forward to the new Wear OS specifically to be on this watch because it's just phenomenal. Android Wear has gotten significantly better compared to where it was before. I'm really looking forward to the Fitbit integration as well as some of the IP that they bought from Fossil, which they bought back in 2019. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for the integration between Fitbit and Fossil because I do think where the Android Wear's biggest areas of opportunity is when it comes to like the fitness end of it. But with Fitbit, that should be taken care of. But I'm also looking forward to being able to interact with a watch that has this seamless integration with the thing we've been talking about the most, the AI, the Google Assistant, and voice transcription. I think one of the biggest areas of opportunity that I've noticed with the TicWatch that I have on my wrist is when I'm trying to transcribe a text message or an email via my watch. It's just not good enough, or not up to my level of expectations like that on the Pixel when it comes to transcription.
Right.
And that's what I want. That is what I want.
And that's what we asked for. That's what we hoped for. That's what we begged for a couple of years ago when Google purchased Fossil, when they purchased Fitbit, is take everything that makes both of those made both of those companies industry leaders in their specific realms, and do the Pixel thing with it. Make it, for lack of a better phrase, make it an Apple Watch that works extremely well with an iPhone, but do it via Pixel. Give us what we want, and we're going to buy it.
I don't know how they're going to, I don't know if they would make it specific, like work better with a Pixel or just work great overall. Like that, I'm not entirely sure how they're going to do that, because Android Wear can work with any Android. I mean, hell, it could actually work with an iPhone too.
Right.
So I'm not sure how they're going to make it like very
But
Pixel specific.
We also spent okay.
I don't know how they would do it. Not to say that they shouldn't. I just don't know how they would do it.
You know, we spent the first half of the phone, the show tonight talking about how, you know, Android devices are great. Pixel devices are the best Android devices. So what I want from a Pixel watch is the pure, you know, just perfect experience, Android watch experience.
There you go.
I know I can go out and buy an Android smartwatch, and it should work with my Pixel device or any other Android. I want that perfect integration that everybody on the other side of the aisle, iPhone, Apple Watch, crows about and talks about and makes fun of everybody else who has a green bubble about. I want that experience with the Pixel Watch, with my Pixel device, with my Google ecosystem.
Yeah.
Please, thank you. End of rant.
Now, a couple comments, quite a few comments specifically around the battery life. I agree with you. That battery life had better be 24 hours. I mean, I'm not asking for 3 days. If you could somehow magically get 3 days out of it, which I don't think you're going to, but if you could get 3 days out of a Pixel Watch, holy crap, that would be incredible. I'm hoping you can give me 28 hours. You can give me somewhere between 24 and 28 hours. That's what I would like. Definitely 24. No question about that. Got to give me 24 hours.
Now, what's your use case behind that? Because I'll be honest, I couldn't tell you the last time I wore any watch, smartwatch or regular analog watch, digital watch, whatever, to bed.
So I don't wear my watch to bed. I can because it's a TicWatch, but if you want to be able to say from a fitness perspective, you want to track your sleep, you've got to be able to give me 24 hours. You got to be able to, and my logic behind that would be, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I put my I go take a shower. I put my watch on. I'm out the door at 6:30, and I want to track my sleep. I want to use it the whole day, then track my sleep, and then when I wake up, I put it on the charger to charge very fast for me to jump in the shower and basically charge to almost 100% in 30 minutes.
Okay. All right.
That's kind of my use case where if I do that, then you can kind of get into the rhythm of,
no, I understand.
I sleep with it, then I take it off in the morning, put it on the charger, go take a shower, and it's 100% when I come off the charger.
I'm glad you explained it that way, because the thing I always had a problem with of tracking your sleep is if you have a watch with a 24-hour battery or a 48-hour battery or 72, you're only tracking your sleep for 1, 2, or 3 days, and then you have to take the watch off to charge, and then you lose your sleep tracking. So what is the point? But when you describe it like that, especially if they give it a fast charger, or because the battery will be much smaller than the battery in a phone, it can charge much faster. That use case actually makes a lot of sense. So thank you.
Yeah, that's particularly my use case that I would like to see. Is like, that's how I would rate the watch. Is the idea is like, if you're not going to give me 3 days, like a TicWatch is going to give me 3 days. So like I will routinely go multiple days without charging it and not think about it. But if I want to be able to track my sleep with my watch, as well as all the fitness stuff, have all my notifications and all of that, then I definitely need 24 hours. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Michael says the Nest Hub also tracks sleep very accurately. Hadn't thought about that. Hadn't thought about
creepy,
that at all.
But we'll look into
what it is. Is it worth buying a Wi-Fi connected rice cooker so I can start my dinner before getting home?
Michael,
that is a
win
good
the
question.
random comment of the show.
That is a good question.
Prize tonight. Obviously, we've heard of Wi-Fi connected smart home devices. I have a lot of friends who have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth enabled sous vide machines. So
what the hell is that?
I'll explain it to you after the show.
Okay.
So they can start their dinner when they're at the gym or on the way home from work or things like that. So, yeah, by all means, buy all the IoT things. Hook them all up to your phone, your watch, your laptop, whatever. Automate the heck out of everything. You, bro.
I'm going to take the opposite side, which is very rare because I typically would side in the automation of life, making things easier. My big thing is, what if you forget to put water in the rice cooker and then turn it on?
Usually they have a fail-safe that if there's not a minimum amount of weight in the rice cooker, it won't start. And a lot of the higher end automated ones, if they don't sense moisture, they won't start to avoid the overheating, burning your house down.
Okay. Look, as long as there's some sort of fail safe, because every rice cooker that I've ever known or had did not have that. That goes back to our college days.
Because
that's
you
the
bought
rice
your
cooker
rice
that
cookers from Bed Bath and Beyond.
The rice cooker that I'm talking about is the rice cooker we used to have when we lived together in college.
Yeah.
That's how long that goes.
That's been a minute.
That's been decades.
Many minutes.
Decades. Has it really been that long? Not decades. Not multiple decades.
Well, we lived together in 2003, 2004, so
pretty damn close to decades.
19 years.
Woo!
The vast majority of 2 decades.
Oh, God. Ryan brings up a good point, though. I agree with Ryan. Then the rice would be sitting in water all day and it wouldn't taste good. After you cooked it, it'd be soggy.
So what we need...
I agree with that.
What we need
That's what I'm talking about.
Is some type of Rube Goldberg rice cooking machine.
Who's the person you just said?
I'll explain it to you after the show. Where you have a cup of rice and a couple of cups of water, and then 2 levers that dump it into the rice cooker, and then another lever that closes the rice cooker, and a final little push button to start the rice cooker.
What in the Honey I Shrunk the Kids thing are you talking about
exactly.
right now?
Thank you.
Is that who that person is?
No.
Oh. But I was like, that's what you just described to me as like...
I know. That's where Honey I Shrunk the Kids got it from, is the old Rube Goldberg thing.
Why are you so old and weird?
I'm not. I'm intelligent and knowledgeable. The people love me.
I mean, most people do love you. Stats has a lot of explaining to do. He does. The best part is I'm gonna zone out after the show, and he's gonna talk, and I'm gonna be like, yeah sure, Rube Baker. You said Rube Baker. That's what I heard.
Completely forget everything I say.
Rube Baker. Do you know who that is?
Rube Baker.
Rube Baker. If you can tell me.
No.
He is the catcher. The fictitious catcher of the Cleveland Indians in the movie Major League 2.
Oh, okay. Not as good as regular Major League, but you know.
Like the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang inventor?
That was also...
Ryan says, okay, Doc Brown.
The only problem with my Doc Brown cosplay is I don't have enough hair to get it to stand up like his did.
That's true. Malcontent says, Stats, he's just jealous you can read.
Not wrong. Facts.
Not wrong. Speaking of that, we're about 4 minutes over on the show. Stats, where can they find you?
Helix Silent on the tweet machine for hot takes, and Country Smith on the Instagram for nothing at all because I never post.
True story. True story. I'm going to go lie on that fancy white rug. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. It's right by the fireplace, too.
It's covered up.
It's all covered up with either couch or ottoman. That's all that's left. You can find me at Scott Peachy on Twitter, at the Scott Peachy on Instagram. I also haven't made a video in a long time, and I'll be completely honest, I'm not sure when I'm going to make a video again. I like the live shows. The live shows are fun. We will be taking a couple week break, mostly because I suck.
No, you just work.
It's the problem. It's like I will be traveling for work. So I will not be here next Wednesday, and then the following Wednesday after that, I will not be here. And then the following Wednesday after that, there's a chance we may not have a show because I might be traveling back again from work. I have to... Rube Goldberg equals chain reaction to accomplish a task.
We'll be looking up several.
We're not going to look it up.
Videos on the tubes of you.
I'm not going to.
As soon as we end the show.
The show's over. So, all right, y'all. We will see you in a few weeks. Be good or be good at it. Hit me on the tweet machine if you need me, and we'll see you all soon. All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye.